Chapter 470 Internal Strife 3. After receiving the regeneration stone, Enchanting spoke again without waiting for Ji Yishuan to speak. "And your demon-subduing pagoda." Then, Enchanting tossed the demon-subduing pagoda that she found on Yu Tiancheng's body to Ji Yishuan. Looking at the regeneration stone and demon-subduing pagoda that he regained, Ji Yishuan was a little dumbfounded in a moment. Not only did he survive from an ultimate death situation, but even the demon-subduing pagoda and regeneration stone were back in his hands. "Who exactly are you?" Ji Yishuan looked up suddenly and at the alluring teen girl before him in surprise. Regardless of whether it was the regeneration stone or demon-subduing pagoda, both were mystic treasures. Even if this girl was not a Yunshao sect disciple, these two items were an extremely huge temptation to anyone, but this girl actually returned them to him just like that. "Who I am is not important. What is important is that you are not dead and did not lose the regeneration stone and the demon-subduing pagoda." Afterward, Enchanting turned around and left. "I am Ji Yishuan of Falling Sky Valley. May I ask for your name, please? I will definitely return your great kindness today," Ji Yishuan said hurriedly as he watched Enchanting leave. Enchanting. Enchanting, Ji Yishuan mumbled as though he had never heard of this name before. "Thank you, Lady Yi," Ji Yishuan said to the distance without knowing whether Enchanting could hear. On the other hand, Enchanting had already walked far away at that moment. Yunshao's sect lost 2 disciples, and one of them was even the sect master's disciple. Not long later, Yunshao's sect would probably organize a search. Because of the influence of her ultimate origin skill, the force of the primordial qi in her body had turned gold and was exceptionally striking. Read only at Wuxia World. Sight to prevent complications, Enchanting chose to return to the sect by feet instead of continuing to use the feather formation technique. With Enchanting's speed, she would take about at least a few days to walk back to Quanling's sect. Throughout the journey, Enchanting passed by a city and used her remaining gold to purchase a horse as a mean of transportation. 2 days later, Enchanting passed by a mausoleum on her journey back. An elderly was guarding outside the mausoleum. His hair was gray, and he seemed to be old from his appearance. However, once the horse crossed paths with the elderly who was blocking their way, its body stiffened and did not move no matter how Enchanting whipped it as though it became a statue. "That's strange," Enchanting looked at the horse below her and frowned. "Little girl. This road is not open. You should take another route." The elderly, with seemingly cloudy eyes, radiated an unknowing glow as he smiled at Enchanting. "Take another route." Enchanting was surprised. Chapter 471 Worshipper of the Blood Moon Sect 1. Enchanting's breath almost stopped under such an outrageous aura. She felt that her heart was held by an invisible hand. Such terrifying aura, Enchanting's face was filled with astonishment. She looked towards the mausoleum and wondered who the horrifying person inside was. At that moment, the elder sneered and said, "Finally, you can't bear with it anymore. You want to escape now." A cold humph came out of the mausoleum at the same time. A streak of silver light rushed out of the mausoleum and flew away. The elder's eyes sparkled as he saw the silver light. He laughed scornfully. "Want to escape?" The elder did not bother to look at Enchanting, and a cyan sword flew from his waist. The elder stepped onto the sword and flew into the clouds. The horse's stiff body slightly relaxed after an hour. It was so frightened, and it howled. Enchanting could only use her primordial qi to comfort it. Enchanting frowned. The silver shadow that flew out from the mausoleum had an extremely terrifying aura, and the elder who seemed to be an ordinary person was surprisingly a strong person. No wonder the elder did not allow her to walk through the mausoleum and asked her to make a detour. Wuxiaworld. Site Yi Qingtang stared at the mausoleum and immersed herself in deep thought. Though the elder had left with the silver shadow, Yi Qingtang still decided to make a detour. The intense aura had yet dispersed from the mausoleum, and her horse definitely could not walk through. After a while, Yi Qingtang rode the horse and detoured. Yi Qingtang sat on the horse, and her hand was holding a space ring. She acquired the space ring from Yu Tiancheng after the assassination. There was great primordial power sealed inside the space ring. Besides Yu Tiancheng, it was difficult for others to access it. During the 2 days, Yi Qingtang used her own primordial GI to erode Yu Tiancheng's primordial power. After a while, joy filled her eyes. "That's it," Yi Qingtang murmured, and her face was filled with joy. Though Yu Tiancheng's primordial qi was strong, Yi Qingtang's primordial qi was affected by the ultimate origin skill and had some kind of mutation. It was mixed with a flame aura that could destroy and erode Yu Tiancheng's space ring. After neutralizing the sealing power, Yi Qingtang immediately looked into the space ring. Yu Tiancheng's space ring contained a black sword and some random stuff. "Just a sword," Yi Qingtang frowned. She thought that as the Yunshao sect disciple, he must have stored some precious stuff inside the space ring. Wuxia World. Sight she did not expect there to be only one weapon inside. Yi Qingtang took out the black sword. When she held the sword in her hand, the coldness she felt was like pure ice. The quality is still okay, Yi Qingtang contemplated for a while. The sword's quality was even higher than her demonic blood sword. Martial weapons quality was classified with heaven, earth, black, and yellow grades. The heaven grade was the strongest divine weapons. The earth grade was slightly lower. The black grade was the spirit weapons, and the yellow grade was the most inferior ones. In most of the sects, the Xianling sect for example, the outer sect disciples' weapons were ordinary weapons. Yellow-grade weapons were considered rare, and Yi Qingtang's demonic blood sword belonged to the yellow grade. Chapter 472 Worshipper of the Blood Moon Sect 2. Yu Tiancheng's black sword ranked among superior yellow-grade weapons. Though the quality of the black sword was not bad, Yi Qingtang did not plan to use it or sell it at an auction. As a Yunshao sect disciple, many people might recognize Yu Tiancheng's sword. If she was seen using the sword, there would be adverse consequences. It took great effort for her to kill the enemy of her previous life, but she did not expect that the only thing she gained was a yellow-grade sword that she could not use in public. Soon, Yi Qingtang started looking through the random stuff inside the space ring. Talisman. Yi Qingtang was delighted. There were a few of the Yunshao sect master's talismans in the random stuff. Yi Qingtang immediately took out the talismans. Each talisman contained a terrifying aura. "These are the things that I need the most now," Yi Qingtang's lips curled, and she placed the sword and the talismans into her space ring. Boom! Just when Yi Qingtang was satisfied with her gains, a shadow flashed at a few hundred meters away suddenly. The shadow then fell to the ground, and there was a huge impact that seemed like it could shake the core of the earth. A cloud of dust was spinning in the wind, and the entire view was covered by the dust. Yi Qingtang was stunned and looked up at the void instinctively. "What is that?" "It seems that it dropped from the sky." The impact of the force created a huge hole on the ground that was about 10 feet deep and 10 feet wide. Yi Qingtang was stunned. If her horse's speed was slightly faster just now, the thing that dropped from the sky might have her directly. If she were hit, the force would definitely kill her directly without any doubt. So, today she was almost killed by the unexpected misfortune. Yi Qingtang came down from the horse, and she slowly walked towards the hole curiously. Yi Qingtang was totally shocked. There was a handsome young man lying in the hole. The red robe that the man wore was broken into pieces, and his silver hair scattered around his waist. There was a blood moon at his glabella that appeared to be heretic. Blood moon. Enchanting was stunned as she remembered the same symbol that she saw on the Blood Moon sect elder. However, the one on Blood Moon sect elder was dark red. The blood moon on this man was redder. Only people at the position of master and above in the Blood Moon sect would have the Blood Moon symbol. The man in front of her was very young, and there was no heretic aura like the one on the Blood Moon sect elder. If he took over someone's body. However, the Blood Moon sect elder's blood moon disappeared after taking over another's body. Or was this person a worshipper of the Blood Moon sect? Enchanting could not figure out the identity of the person. Even though the fall of the Blood Moon sect happened long ago, the rumors were still spreading around. There were rumors saying that some were obsessed with the Blood Moon sect and that they imitated them. Enchanting guessed that this man might be one of the imitators. Did this guy fall off from the sky? Enchanting raised her head and looked into the sky again. Chapter 473 Worshipper of the Blood Moon Sect 3. Such a terrifying strength of the body. Normal people would definitely be crushed into pieces under such force. Enchanting stared at the man with silver hair in the hole. Enchanting was very sure that the guy had passed away. Though she was still curious, she did not want to be involved in the trouble and decided to leave. However, when she was about to turn away, her sight landed on the red space ring on the man's finger. Enchanting jumped into the hole immediately and walked towards the man. Since you have passed away, the things inside the space ring will be useless for you. How about I keep them for you? I will definitely bury your body nicely in return. Enchanting smiled and said. You did not object. Then can I assume that you agreed? Thank you so much. Enchanting murmured to herself. She then squatted down and was about to take away his space ring. However. Pow! The man who had no breath or movement at all suddenly held Enchanting's hand. Enchanting used all her strength trying to escape. However, to her surprise, the man's palm was like a huge mountain that restrained her. No matter how she struggled, she could not pull her hand away. You are not dead. Then it's a misunderstanding. I thought that you had passed away so. If I offended you in any way, please understand, Enchanting explained immediately. Enchanting then looked at the man again. The man's eyes were closed, but there was a breath coming out of his body. He is still in a coma. Enchanting sighed as she thought that the man was awake and angry with her action. Enchanting then realized that she worried too much. The handsome man with silver hair did not seem to revive. Enchanting sized up the man as he was still in a coma. The person did not die under such force that could crush a hole on the ground. He did not even have any injuries on his body. Enchanting was astonished. The man's strength was too strong to imagine. Enchanting did not intend to take his space ring anymore since the man did not die. Enchanting liked to take things from her enemies as she won them over. However, she would never target anything from a stranger even if they were extremely rare and precious. She would never take anything that did not belong to her. Just now, Enchanting thought that the guy had passed away and guessed that there were treasures inside her space ring. She did not want the treasures to be wasted, and that was why she had the intention to take them over. Enchanting could only sigh as she could not escape from the man's grip, though he was still in a coma. Enchanting dragged the man out of the hole. Suddenly, the hand that was holding Enchanting released her. Enchanting took a few steps back after her hand was freed. We are just strangers. So, I shall leave now. Enchanting turned and decided to walk away. Chapter 474 Older Sister, 1, she returned after taking a few steps. The man was extremely weak now, and any cultivator could kill him easily. Enchanting contemplated for a while and thought that it was not very appropriate to just leave. Okay. Anyway, it was my fault to have the intention of taking away your space ring. As compensation, I will guard you until you wake up. Enchanting sat down beside the man. Enchanting then took out some healing medicine from her space ring that she brought from the sect. She then poured them into the man's mouth. Enchanting took some clean water and fed him as she saw that the man's mouth was dry. Enchanting took care of the man for about 2 days. There was finally some color on his face. The blood moon at the glabella was more obvious. Enchanting was too exhausted and decided to take a nap. However, the nap lasted for a couple of hours. On the morning of the 3rd day, Enchanting opened her eyes slowly. However, her eyes met with a pair of eyes that were so indifferent and cold. The man with silver hair woke up when she was sleeping. He stared at Enchanting. You saved me, the man said with a cold voice before Enchanting could speak. Yes. I saw that you fell from the sky. I was curious and noticed that you were not dead, so, Enchanting hid the part that she was interested in his space ring naturally. The man sized up her for a while until she felt nervous from the stare. Thank you, Wuxia. Sight, you're welcome. But, you woke up really fast. Enchanting got up and was still surprised. His injury was so severe that none of his organs were functioning. However, he only took 3 days to revive. Yes, the man answered coldly. How did you fall from the sky? Enchanting asked the question that had bothered her for a few days. There was a strange luster sparkling from the blood moon as he heard the question. If you're not willing to say, then it's okay. Enchanting knew that the question was slightly offensive. It's okay. I was fleeing from murder, the man said in a monotone. Enchanting was very sensitive towards the words, flee from murder. She had fled from murder for 300 years in her previous life. Even when she reached the Paragon level, there were still countless of people trying to kill her every day. She lived every day in fear, and the feeling was definitely not pleasant. Who was trying to kill you? Enchanting probed. Did the man also offend the super sects in the formidable Heavens dynasty? She observed the man and could not figure out his martial ability. Based on his horrifying body strength, it was difficult for normal sects to kill him. So, maybe it was the super sections. The Ultimate Elder. Who? Enchanting was shocked and thought that she heard the name wrong. The Ultimate Elder. The man was expressionless and repeated himself. The Ultimate Elder. Enchanting laughed when she was sure that she heard the name correctly. The Ultimate Elder had not appeared for many years. No one even knows whether he is dead or alive. How could he chase after you? You think that you are the Blood Moon Sect Lord? Yes, the man said indifferently. Who are your? Enchanting thought that she heard the wrong thing again. Wuxia. Sight. Chapter 475 Older Sister, 2, You are the Lord of the Blood Moon Sect. Then I say am the Pagoda Sword Master, do you believe me? Enchanting tried not to laugh. No. The man still replied coldly. Enchanting felt a headache as she stared at the imitated blood moon at the man's glabella. How obsessed was the man towards the Blood Moon Sect? He could choose to pretend to be anyone, but he had to call himself the Supreme Blood Moon Sect Lord. Wuxia D. Sight. Though Enchanting had never met the real Blood Moon Lord, she had seen the blood moon on the Blood Moon Sect Elder's glabella. Obviously, it was different from the one at the man's glabella. When the ability of a cultivator had reached a certain level, one would be able to freeze their appearance and remain in their youth forever. However, during the peak period, the Blood Moon Lord was as famous as the Pagoda Sword Master and the Ultimate Elder. Rumors said that they were dead for at least 1,000 years. No wonder someone tried to chase and kill you. Enchanting mocked him. It was possible that his lie was too extreme and that offended the supersections. If Enchanting also claimed that she was the Blood Moon Lord to everyone she met, people would definitely chase after her and try to murder her. The man with silver hair did not want to argue with Enchanting. You saved me. What do you want in return? What do I want? Enchanting was puzzled. Something in return. I want 100 superior grade spirit stones. Do you have them? Enchanting smiled. Not now. The man thought for a while and then shook his head. Then, how are you going to pay me back? Enchanting asked. I will accept you as my disciple, the man with silver hair said. I think that's not necessary. Enchanting twitched her mouth. Such a young man also wanted to be her master? That was not paying back but taking advantage of her. Are you too used to lying? I become your disciple? Do you really think that you are the Blood Moon Lord? Enchanting was trying to make fun of him. How about this? Since you were also fleeing from murder and so did I, shall we become sworn brothers? Enchanting smiled and said. Brothers? The man frowned as he had never imagined that someone dared to pledge brotherhood with him. I was taking care of you for the past few days. So, I'm the older sister, and you will be the younger brother. Enchanting's face was extremely serious. It seemed that he had not agreed to pledge brotherhood with the girl. What? Just now you still said that you want to pay me back. Since you don't have 100 superior grade spirit stones and you're not willing to pledge, just leave. I don't want to see you anymore. Enchanting waved her hand. Pledge, the man said. Wuxia world. Sight, good. Enchanting nodded her head. Soon, the pledging process was completed, and Enchanting wanted to ask about the details of the man. Take it. The man took out a red token from his space ring and threw it to Enchanting. His hand gently touched her forehead. The moment his palm touched her skin, a blood moon sparkled at her glabella. Enchanting did not notice anything as she was holding the token and trying to figure out what that was for. Brother, what is this? However, there was no reply. When Enchanting lifted her head and glanced around, her sworn brother had long disappeared. Brother, you haven't told me your real identity. Enchanting gritted her teeth. If she knew that her brother was so not reliable, she would not even take the pledge. She saved him and even took care of him for 3 days. She eventually ended up with a token of no use. Chapter 476 Ning Luo 1. Enchanting shook her head. She originally wanted to throw this unknown token away but ultimately placed it in her space ring to return to him when she met him next time. Then, Enchanting got onto her horse and left the area. It had already been near half a month since Xianling's sect headed for Drifting Cloud Island, and it had been days since Elder Mo brought Fu Lingtian back to the sect, though it was still unknown whether the Yunshao sect spy in Xianling's sect was found. Enchanting rode to Xianling's sect at top speed. Deep down, Enchanting did not wish for Xianling's sect to find out the truth, as Yunshao's sect would definitely not leave the matter at that. At that instant, Enchanting was rather frustrated. If only she killed Fu Lingtian immediately back when he barged into her room on Drifting Cloud Island, then, perhaps, the subsequent events would not happen. However, Enchanting did not think that Elder Mo was guarding in the area because of her breakthrough and would rush in immediately, catching Fu Lingtian and causing her to not have the chance to kill him. Wuxia world. Sight. Enchanting was deep in thought at that moment. If Xianling's sect had not been able to find the spy, it may be a good idea for her to kill Fu Lingtian without anyone knowing when she returned to the sect. However, if Xianling's sect already discovered the spy hiding in the sect. At that thought, Yi Qingtang frowned, and an inauspicious feeling filled her heart. Although Xianling's sect was one of the 3 sects of Formidable Heaven's dynasty and had a pretty good background, it was too weak when compared to super sects like Yunshao's sect. If Yunshao's sect had the heart to exterminate Xianling's sect, it was, in actuality, not difficult. The happenings in her previous life had already proven this point. As Yi Qingtang pondered, there were fighting and shouting sounds ahead, and one of the voices seemed to be familiar to Yi Qingtang. Qin Huan. Yi Qingtang was slightly surprised. If that voice did not belong to Qin Huan, who else could it be? Immediately, Yi Qingtang raced forward. About 200 meters away, several Xianling sect disciples surrounded a young man. The young man's lips curled as he glimpsed across the Xianling sect disciples nonchalantly. "How daring of you all to encircle me!" The young man sneered. "PFT." Qin Huan spat immediately. He was just accepted into the inner sect as an exception, as an inner sect elder regarded him highly, yet he encountered such an incident the moment he entered the inner sect. Before Fu Lingtian was interrogated properly, he was killed by Ning Luo. "Ning Luo, you betrayer. Fu Lingtian is a serious offender, but you infiltrated in the night and killed him." "Oh." Ning Luo snickered coldly. "Since Fu Lingtian committed a serious offense, is there anything wrong for me to kill him?" Qin Huan scoffed coldly. He was not dumb either. "Ning Luo, that's simply a fallacious argument. That Fu Lingtian knows the spy in Xianling's sect, but you sneaked into the Hall of Justice and killed him. It clearly is because you have a guilty conscience and thus silenced him before fleeing the sect. This is absconding to avoid punishment. Qin Huan, you have just entered the inner sect but don't know anything about seniority. How dare you talk to your senior brother like this?" Ning Luo laughed. "Senior brother Ning Luo, it's better to return to the sect with us and explain this matter clearly." Zhu Chang'e, who was beside Qin Huan, frowned tightly as he wielded a sword in his hand. Wuxia World. Site Ning Luo was the disciple that Elder Lin was the proudest of, while Zhu Chang'e was also Elder Lin's disciple. They were originally extremely close senior and junior brothers, yet, unexpectedly, they had to fight each other today. One of the disciples spat out a mouthful of blood, and no longer able to bear this frightening martial oppression, he was flung several hundred meters away. Whiz! Yi Qingtang was still on the horse but noticed an unknown shadow crashing towards here. Another victim of natural and man-made calamities. Yi Qingtang grabbed that shadow almost instinctively. When Yi Qingtang returned to her senses, she realized that she was holding on to a person in her hands. "Where did you fly here from?" Yi Qingtang was curious. She had already witnessed 2 such cases over the past few days, and it was good that she was agile this time and reacted swiftly. Yi Qingtang. The Xianling sect disciple who was lifted by Yi Qingtang had a surprised expression. Fortunately, Yi Qingtang, who appeared from nowhere, caught him. Otherwise, he would definitely be severely injured. Junior Sister Yi. When the few people stood properly and saw that it was Yi Qingtang, Zhu Chang'e had a surprised expression. A few days ago, they searched for Yi Qingtang on Drifting Cloud Island for 2 days but still could not find her, and helplessly, Elder Qin could only return to the sect in the end. He never expected that Yi Qingtang, who had been missing for days, would actually appear here. "Junior Sister Yi, why are you here?" Qin Huan had an astonished look. It was already hard for them to protect themselves against Ning Luo, yet where did Yi Qingtang appear from to join in? Was she not afraid of dying? Ning Luo looked at Yi Qingtang, who was not far away, and his lips curled up. Earlier on, I still found it a pity that I could not complete Senior Sister Yi Yu's orders. Yi Qingtang, you're really thoughtful to send yourself here because you're afraid I would have regrets. Chapter 479 Head-to-Head Battle 1. Oh, is it? Yi Qingtang had no fear when facing Ning Luo. Yi Qingtang was about to strike a move, but a figure suddenly stood before her. Qin Huan did not know who the Yi Yu Ning Luo mentioned was, but immediately blocked in front of Yi Qingtang when he saw that Ning Luo was about to harm Yi Qingtang. Junior Sister Yi, escape now. It'll help to stall this betrayer. Yi Qingtang thought to herself. What the heck? Can you move away first? Yi Qingtang asked with a frown. Junior Sister Yi, ignore us and leave. Ning Luo is too strong, and we can't hold him any longer even with combined forces. Qin Huan said hurriedly as he saw that Ning Luo wanted to kill Yi Qingtang. Move away. Yi Qingtang lifted her foot and kicked Qin Huan to a side. Her words fell on deaf ears, and she was forced to be violent. Junior Sister Yi, what are you? Qin Huan was appalled. Why did she kick him for nothing? However, before Qin Huan finished his sentence, he noticed that Yi Qingtang had already disappeared with only a slight trace of her shadow at the original spot. Clank! Yi Qingtang drew the demonic blood sword out of its scabbard and slashed down firstly. Swoosh! Immediately, the demonic blood sword was like an enormous beast that wanted to devour Ning Luo. Ning Luo's smile froze, and a disbelieving shock twinkled in his eyes as he felt Yi Qingtang's aura from that one move. He still remembered that Yi Qingtang had just entered Xianling's sect, and it had only been a while since she passed the inner sect assessment. The top inner sect disciples in Xianling's sect were only at the first heaven of martial qi level 2, but Yi Qingtang was already at the third heaven of martial qi level 2. Ning Luo swept the shocked expression in his eyes away rapidly. No matter what miracle this girl encountered, she was, after all, at martial qi level 2, and it would only take a moment for him to kill her. However, Ning Luo realized he was wrong very quickly. He almost could not block the sword aura that Yi Qingtang casually slashed towards him. After being forced a few steps back by the demonic blood sword aura, Ning Luo finally used all his strength to expel the aura. Ning Luo narrowed his eyes at Yi Qingtang immediately, unable to comprehend what happened. This girl was only an ordinary inner sect disciple in Xianling's sect. How could she possess such strong skills? Currently, even those inner sect elders of Xianling's sect might not be Yi Qingtang's opponent. Qin Huan, Zhu Chang'e, and the other disciples were completely dumbfounded when they saw that Yi Qingtang pushed Ning Luo back a few steps with just one move. The inner sect disciple who brought Yi Qingtang to the scene, especially, was utterly astonished. He finally understood what Yi Qingtang meant when she said she was their savior earlier on. Third heaven of martial qi level 2. Am I dreaming? Qin Huan thought it was unrealistic as time passed. Yi Qingtang and he were both outer sect disciples of Xianling's sect initially. Although Yi Qingtang displayed outstanding martial gifts and placed first in the outer sect, allowing her to enter the inner sect, it was still impossible for her to break through to the third heaven of martial qi level 3 in such a short time. Ning Luo looked at Yi Qingtang at that moment and scoffed. I was still wondering why Senior Sister Yi you wanted me to kill an ant like Xianling's sect disciple. So you are not an ordinary person as well. However, it is not in vain that you could make Senior Sister Yi Yu to be concerned about you, given your status. Yi Yu was the holy lady of Yunshao's sect and a possessor of a blue spirit root. Although the number of cultivators with green spirit roots on this mainland was not a small number, blue spirit roots were unusually rare, and there was hardly one out of 1 million people. Chapter 480 Head-to-Head Battle 2. Although a green spirit root was only one grade lower than a blue spirit root, there was a world of differences in this one grade. It was known by everyone that blue spirit roots could absorb the spirit energy in the world automatically. Even more so, a cultivator did not need to intentionally cultivate and only required time to reach the frightening scale of a yin-yang true lord. On the other hand, green spirit roots had higher understanding abilities and martial gifts, and they had a slightly higher chance of understanding the paragon skill. It was only like that. In reality, there was almost a twisted obsession with cultivators' spirit roots on this mainland. No one knew that spirit roots were only an aid for martial cultivation, and one could still become an unrivaled powerful figure even without a spirit root. Just like Blood Moon Sect's Holy Lord who was born thousands of years ago. Wuxia World. It was said that there was no spirit root in the body of Blood Moon Sect's Holy Lord, but despite so, he once killed the only powerful figure with an indigo spirit root on this mainland. Although there were also rumors that the Blood Moon Holy Lord had a violet spirit root, there was already no way of proving the authenticity of the rumors. Enchanting, since you're here today, you shall be buried here, and this will make it easier for me to account to the sect. How about that? Ning Luo smiled. Enchanting's skills were not bad, but Ning Luo was confident that he could kill her. If you have the ability to, Enchanting said and curled her finger towards her at Ning Luo. Come and try. Ning Luo's smile froze on his face when he saw our Enchanting completely belittle him. As a Yunshao sect inner sect disciple at martial chi level 3, he was, however, looked down upon by a Xianling sect inner sect disciple today. Do you really want to die? Ning Luo paused between his words as the murderous expression in his eyes intensified. That's why I told you to come and give it a try. Enchanting sneered. As Enchanting spoke, Ning Luo had vanished from where he was standing at instantly. In almost the blink of an eye, Ning Luo was already beside Enchanting and rammed a palm towards Enchanting without saying a word. The intense aura of martial chi level 3 escalated to the maximum in an instant. There was a cloud of dust as wild gusts of wind were stirred up, and crushed rocks on the ground floated in midair. Facing Ning Luo, a powerful opponent at martial chi level 3, Enchanting brushed the belittling thoughts away and fought seriously. Die! Ning Luo shouted sternly and hit Enchanting's crown with his palm that was filled with a destructive force. Enchanting's expression was cold when she noticed it, and she lifted an arm to block it. Boom! A loud sound rang. The edges of their clothes danced in the air as both retreated a few steps. Shock emerged in Ning Luo's eyes immediately as he looked at Enchanting strangely. As someone at martial chi level 3, he could easily crush an ordinary third heaven of martial chi level 2, but Enchanting was extremely strange. The skills that she displayed were not those of an ordinary third heaven of martial chi level 2. Swoosh! In not a while, Ning Luo returned to his senses, and Enchanting's demonic blood sword had already landed. Enchanting's swordplay technique was unconventional and had unexpected winning moves. Moreover, the sword in her hand was extremely sturdy, and the demonic air around it was frightening. Ning Luo did not dare to fight head-on and could only dodge the blade for the moment as he retreated a few steps successively. However, Enchanting refused to yield an inch and advanced on him tightly. She slashed the air with her sword, and the demonic air invaded the air within a radius of several miles. The surrounding trees were chopped by the invisible sword aura as sawdust drifted in the sky. At that very moment, Zhu Chang'e, Qin Huan, and the other Xianling sect disciples were completely dumbfounded as they watched Enchanting. Chapter 481 The Paragon Skill 1. Ning Luo was at martial chi level 3, yet Enchanting could be evenly matched with him. No, it was not a tied match either. The situation before them was clearly Enchanting suppressing Ning Luo. twisted, Qin Huan's eyes were widened. Regardless of whether it was Yi Qingtang or Ning Luo, both of them displayed a frightening combat ability which had exceedingly surpassed that of the inner sect disciples, even to the point that Qin Huan could not see the tracks of Yi Qingtang's and Ning Luo's attacks clearly. Boom! A loud explosion caused the Xianling sect disciples to return to their senses. At that instant, Ning Luo had already drawn out his sword, which clashed with Yi Qingtang's demonic blood sword. The sword aura swept across the surroundings instantly. The expressions of the Xianling sect disciples changed, and they immediately retreated backward. The amount of power from the battle between Yi Qingtang and Ning Luo was not a joke, and they could be chopped into pieces if they were just a little careless. If they innocently embroiled in this disaster, there was no one they could find to reason when they died without a trace. Ha! Yi Qingtang, you're really not an ordinary person. You're only at the third heaven of martial qi level 2 but could force me to draw my sword out. You're truly not simple, Ning Luo laughed as he looked at Yi Qingtang. However, Ning Luo had not finished his sentence yet when Yi Qingtang's left fist was hurriedly thrown on Ning Luo's face. Boom! Then, Ning Luo's face was a little twisted, and he was flung several meters away from Yi Qingtang's punch. After steadying himself, Ning Luo wiped the blood from the corners of his lips as haze clouded his eyes. You! So full of bullshit. Yi Qingtang sneered coldly. Ning Luo guffawed suddenly. Forget it, originally wanted to play with you, but since you don't know how to appreciate my kindness, there is no need for me to be merciful already. Really? Show me your best then. Yi Qingtang uttered. Since Yi Qingtang had already confirmed that Ning Luo was a Yunshao sect disciple, she made up her mind to kill him right there and not allow him to flee back to Yunshao. Otherwise, even she would not be able to stop history from repeating itself. You're so confident, Yi Qingtang. Could it be that you thought I've already done my best? Ning Luo asked. A bunch of nonsense. Yi Qingtang shouted coldly. Then, she leaped up and slashed the demonic blood sword down at Ning Luo, wanting to split Ning Luo into two. At that instant, Ning Luo was motionless in face of Yi Qingtang's mighty aura as he snickered. You're a mere red spirit root, and there's no way you can understand the Paragon skill. Just this fact itself has already sentenced you to death. As he spoke, his aura changed drastically. In the dense forest, the surrounding temperature dropped, and there seemed to even be snowflakes descending slowly. The Paragon skill. Zhu Chang'e, Qin Huan, and the other Xianling sect disciples who were hidden far away could not help but quiver in the extremely cold temperature. A hint of terror emerged in their eyes at that moment. Although it was said that there was a chance of understanding the Paragon skill from yellow spirit roots onward, many cultivators were nowhere close to understanding it even after an entire lifetime. Not mentioning cultivators with yellow spirit roots, even those with green spirit roots might not be able to understand the Paragon skill throughout their lives. For example, while Xianling sect had disciples with green spirit roots, Feng Moli was the only one who understood the Paragon skill. As the group panicked, frost formed all over the ground. Chapter 482 The Paragon Skill, 2. At the same time, the demonic blood sword in Yi Qingtang's hand landed. Clank! The sound of clashing metal reverberated throughout. Ning Luo used his right arm to block it. Is that the Paragon skill? A certain Xianling sect disciple exclaimed in alarm. A layer of frost covered Ning Luo as cold air enshrouded him. He used his right arm that was covered in frost to block in front of him, bearing the force of Yi Qingtang's sword. Yi Qingtang, this is the Paragon skill, the frost. Ning Luo's lips curled up. As he spoke, several icicles were formed in the sky and shot down at Yi Qingtang from all angles, wanting to pierce through Yi Qingtang. Paragon skill, the frost. Yi Qingtang scoffed. It's merely like that only. Then, Yi Qingtang swept her demonic blood sword across, breaking all the icicles. Now it's interesting. Ning Luo kept his sword and guided the frost to form an ice pike in his hand. Whiz! The ice pike was charged towards Yi Qingtang immediately. Wuxia whirled. Yi Qingtang was not frightened at all as she slashed it with her demonic blood sword. Boom! As the demonic blood sword clashed with the ice pike, Yi Qingtang felt an unbearable icy air which wanted to corrode her. The moment the demonic blood sword came into contact with the pike, ice covered the demonic blood sword so rapidly, wanting to seal Yi Qingtang altogether. Slightly shocked, Yi Qingtang immediately abandoned the demonic blood sword. As the demonic blood sword fell on the ground, the intensity of the freezing never slowed down as the ground within 10 meters from the spot was covered by ice at a speed visible to the naked eye. Ha, your reaction isn't slow. A playful smile was hung on Ning Luo's face. If Yi Qingtang had not abandoned the demonic blood sword, she would definitely be sealed by the ice. Despair arose in the hearts of the Xianling sect disciples when they saw how scary Ning Luo's paragon skill was. Earlier, they actually innocently thought that they could capture Ning Luo and bring him back to Xianling sect. If they knew this from the start, they would never offend Ning Luo so brazenly no matter how courageous they were. What moves do you still have? Show them all, Yi Qingtang said without emotion as she looked at Ning Luo. With things as such, you still want to speak so mightily. Yi Qingtang, you're truly stubborn. Ning Luo laughed. An imprint was formed in his hands as he spoke. Instantly, snow floated in the sky, and an icy air rose from the ground. In just a moment, the coldness extended 100 meters out, and before Yi Qingtang knew what happened, her legs were already frozen. This is bad, Yi Qingtang frowned slightly. She originally wanted to crush the ice with her feet and escape from it, but she realized that the ice was as hard as steel. Feeling the disturbance of this biting chill, the primordial GI in her body was completely sealed and could not be used. Junior Sister Yi. Zhu Chang'e shouted when he noticed what happened and flew forward, using his sword to slash the ice on Yi Qingtang's body. Bang! However, not only was this slash unable to damage the ice the slightest bit, Zhu Chang'e's hand was numbed instead, and he was flung several meters away from the impact. Junior Sister Yi, don't be afraid. I'll save you. Qin Huan leaped forward as well and condensed all his might in his hands, hitting the ice that rapidly froze on Yi Qingtang's body. Ow! Similar to Zhu Chang'e, Qin Huan let out a miserable cry and was flung over 10 meters away by the force of the frozen ice. Chapter 483 The Paragon Skill, 3. As Qin Huan landed, he stepped on the area that was sealed by the ice and fell hideously as he lost his balance. Ha! The ignorants are fearless. Ning Luo glanced down at the Xianling sect disciples arrogantly. Just based on you ants, you all thought that you could smash my paragon skill. What a joke. Ning Luo, you ungrateful betrayer. Release Junior Sister Yi now. Otherwise, you will definitely die once the sect elders arrive. Qin Huan hollered angrily as he pointed at Ning Luo. Xianling sect elders? Disdain flashed across Ning Luo's eyes. He had never respected those so-called elders in Xianling sect. Even if they rushed here in time, what could they do to him? Senior brother Ning Luo, it is never too late to repent. Release Junior Sister Yi now. Things are still reversible. Zhu Chang'e persuaded Ning Luo as he saw that Yi Qingtang was about to be completely sealed in the ice. However, Ning Luo waved his right arm, and an icy air charged at them, causing them to collapse on the ground. You little ants, even killing you all would be dirtying my hands. Ning Luo returned his focus to Yi Qingtang. At that moment, the eyes had already extended to Yi Qingtang's abdomen and had no signs of stopping. Yi Qingtang, I am also one who cherishes talents. It is indeed admirable that you can reach this stage, live up to this day, and even force me to use my paragon skill as a red spirit root. It is a pity though that I cannot defy senior sister Yi Yu's orders, and I can only take your life to account to the sect. But apart from this, if you still have any wishes, perhaps I will help you to accomplish them if I am able to, Ning Luo said as he looked at Yi Qingtang, who was unable to move. Currently, the eyes had already extended to Yi Qingtang's flawless neck, and it reached the crown of her head before she could say anything. At that very instant, Yi Qingtang turned into an ice statue with no exposed area for her to breathe. Junior Sister Yi. Read its latest chapters at Wuxia World. Sight. The Xianling sect disciples were horrified at the sight. Although Yi Qingtang was already very powerful, Ning Luo was at martial qi level 3 and understood the paragon skill of the frost as a green spirit root. No matter how powerful Yi Qingtang was, how could she be Ning Luo's opponent? Ning Luo, you bastard! How dare you kill Junior Sister Yi? I must avenge Junior Sister Yi. Qin Huan shouted furiously and was ready to battle it out with Ning Luo. However, after taking only a few steps, Qin Huan slipped and fell on the ground once again. Zhu Changge and the other Xianling sect disciples darted forward and helped Qin Huan up hurriedly. Don't stop me. I must kill this bastard. Qin Huan screamed. Calm down. Zhu Changge grabbed Qin Huan's arm tightly. It was simply delusional for them to defeat Ning Luo with their skills. If they acted rashly now, wouldn't it be losing a few more lives? If that was the case, what was the meaning of Yi Qingtang's death? Hold on. Ignoring Qin Huan, who was struggling desperately, a Xianling sect disciple was shocked as he pointed at Yi Qingtang, who had turned into a statue. Zhu Changge and the rest looked in that direction instinctively. At that instant, the ice on Yi Qingtang's body seemed to be melting. An inexplicable flame aura blended with the force of the cold ice. Boom! Before they returned to their senses, the sturdy ice on Yi Qingtang's body exploded instantly. You must be kidding. Qin Huan's jaw dropped as he stared at Yi Qingtang. Chapter 484. The Paragon Skill 4. Currently, there was a layer of golden flames covering Yi Qingtang's body and was filled with a destructive force. The golden flames were extremely strange. They clung onto Yi Qingtang's body yet did not harm her. Even her hair and clothes were not damaged at all. That is, the Xianling sect disciples exchanged a look, and shock filled their eyes. The Paragon Skill. Not far away, Ning Luo was flabbergasted as he stared in disbelief at Yi Qingtang, who seemed to be walking out from a world of burning flames. Paragon Skill, is that very powerful? A devilish smile was seen on Yi Qingtang's face. Impossible. Ning Luo's eyes dilated suddenly. Paragon Skill. There is a slim chance for only yellow spirit roots to understand it, and it's extremely rare for green spirit roots to understand it as well. You are only a red spirit root, Yi Qingtang. There's no way you can understand the Paragon Skill. Oh hey, Yi Qingtang sneered. Since that's the case, then what do you think this is? Ning Luo himself understood the Paragon Skill as well and thus was extremely sensitive to the aura of the Paragon Skill. At that instant, the golden flames that enshrouded Yi Qingtang clearly had the aura of the Paragon Skill. Although there were some differences, Ning Luo could confirm that there was nothing wrong. No. That's impossible. Ning Luo shook his head. Yi Qingtang's performance had completely exceeded his level of comprehension. Humans had always been fearful of the unknown. Coldness filled Yi Qingtang's eyes. Ning Luo was extremely powerful, and if not for her ultimate origin skill, perhaps she would really have been killed by him just now. Despite so, the primordial chi remaining in her body was extremely little and not enough to sustain her ultimate origin skill for too long. Enchanting was clear that she had to go all out with her fur abilities at this instant and take Ning Luo down with one move. Otherwise, the consequences would be dire if her primordial chi was exhausted. Die! Enchanting hooted. The golden flames transformed into billows of blazing flames, and a golden divine phoenix about 100 meters tall was formed in the sky. Read latest novels at Wuxia World. Sight. The divine phoenix's eyes were fireballs which were extremely overbearing and arrogant. Then, the divine phoenix groaned, seemingly causing one's soul to leave their body. It was as though the vault of the heaven trembled as well and had to make way for it. Swoosh! The divine phoenix flapped its wings, and golden flames flooded out, turning everything into nothing. With a crushing force, it wanted to turn anyone who dared to offend it into nothing but dust. What is this? Feeling the imposing force of the divine phoenix, Ning Luo retreated a few steps instinctively. However, the ice where the divine phoenix passed by melted and turned into flowing water, which then was evaporated in an instant and turned into vapor. Ice God! Seeing that the divine phoenix was impossible to stop, Ning Luo bit his tongue, and blood dripped on the ice before him. Boom! A loud rumble of thunder reverberated in the surroundings. Under everyone's watchful eyes, an ice giant appeared quickly and took on Ning Luo's appearance. It held an ice spike in his hand and was donned in an ice armor like that of a god of war made from ice. Boom! The ice god of war stepped on the ground and walked towards the divine phoenix slowly, causing the entire land to tremor. Roar! The ice god of war growled frighteningly as the ice spike in his hand pierced towards the divine phoenix at the speed of lightning. Chapter 485 The Paragon Skill 5. There seemed to be indifference in the divine phoenix's eyes as it noticed the situation. It howled, and golden flames soared instantly, melting the ice spike that was charging towards itself. Subsequently, the enormous divine phoenix rammed against the abdomen of the ice god of war fiercely. Boom! The attack of the divine phoenix caused the ice god of war to collapse and explode into numerous broken ice shards. Impossible! As the ice god of war was shattered, blood seeped out of Ning Luo's mouth. His paragon skill was understood as a green spirit root and, moreover, belonged to the medium level amongst the paragon skills. How could it be defeated by Enchanting's so-called paragon skill? Ning Luo used his blood as a lead and controlled the ice god of war with his mind. Thus, after the ice god of war was shattered, there was serious damage inflicted to Ning Luo's mind, and he was severely injured. From afar, Zhu Chang'e and the other Xianling sect disciples were completely stupefied and almost forgot to breathe. What is that divine phoenix? Enchanting only has a red spirit root. How did she understand the paragon skill? And how did she defeat Ning Luo, who was at martial chi level 3 and possessed the paragon skill, with the skills of a third heaven of martial chi level 2? I am dreaming. Qin Huan looked at Zhu Chang'e in confusion. Maybe, Zhu Chang'e replied. Senior brother Zhu. How about you give me a slap? Qin Huan asked with a frown. Pow! A resounding slap landed on Qin Huan's face. Does it hurt? Zhu Chang'e asked. Qin Huan touched his face and pondered for a moment. It seems to hurt a little. The other Xianling sect disciples stared at him blankly. Whiz! Without giving them time to think, a loud sound rang. Ning Luo flew into midair instantly, wanting to flee this place. The paragon skill he used earlier had almost exhausted the primordial chi in his body, and his mind was injured. If he did hot escape, He was afraid that he would have to die there today. Wish to escape. Yi Qingtang laughed coldly. How could he have it as he wished? In an instant, the golden divine phoenix transformed into a monstrous blaze which chased after Ning Luo. The divine phoenix was extremely fast and blocked Ning Luo in just the blink of an eye. Damn you, Yi Qingtang. Ning Luo gritted his teeth and immediately retrieved a signal flare from his space ring. Boom! The signal flare exploded in the sky, forming into a certain special symbol. Yunshao SCCTS distress signal. Yi Qingtang frowned deeply. Ning Luo actually called Yunshao sect for help. No, must kill him before the Yunshao sect people arrive. Yi Qingtang pondered. The coldness in Yi Qingtang's eyes penetrated through Ank's bones as she looked at Ning Luo, who was floating in the sky above her. Chapter 486 Elder Lin 1, Ning Luo, you must be buried here today. I'm afraid it's delusional of you to wish to return back to Yunshao sect alive. Yi Qingtang's eyes were ice-cold as though they were completely devoid of emotion. The demonic blood sword drew a blood fog in the air. Then, Yi Qingtang charged towards Ning Luo with the demonic blood sword in hand. Junior sister Yi, don't be rash. Suddenly, Qin Huan and the rest rushed up to stop Yi Qingtang. What are you all doing? Yi Qingtang frowned. Junior sister Yi, the sect master's order is to bring this betrayer back to the sect for interrogation. If you kill him, it seems a little inappropriate. Qin Huan explained after thinking for a moment. Bringing a corpse back is the same as well, Yi Qingtang said. How is that the same? A corpse can't talk. Qin Huan was speaking halfway but met Yi Qingtang's cold glare. If I don't kill him, how about I kill you instead? Yi Qingtang said. Then, Qin Huan could not help but shudder as he sensibly retreated to a side with Zhu Chang'e and the rest. Junior sister Yi, you're right. Eliminate the evil for the sect. Kill the betrayer, Ning Luo. Qin Huan pointed at Ning Luo and shouted seriously. Kill him. Yes, kill him, Zhu Chang'e nodded as well. Kill him, the other inner sect disciples were very sensible as well. Yi Qingtang immediately flicked her wrist, and the demonic blood sword was slashed toward Ning Luo at the speed of lightning. As long as Ning Luo died, Xianling's sect could be saved. However, at this critical instant, a silver arrow flew towards Yi Qingtang. Yi Qingtang's brows were tightly furrowed. The track of her demonic blood sword diverted a little and was blocked in front of her body. Boom! That silver arrow shot on the demonic blood sword, sparking a flare. Humph! A loud scoff erupted at the scene. In the next second, Elder Lin and his grandson, Lin Feng, walked toward them slowly. Elder Lin. Qin Huan and the rest were taken aback by Elder Lin's appearance. Master. Zhu Chang'e hurriedly bowed. Elder Lin waved a hand for Zhu Chang'e to rise before turning to give Lin Feng a look. Nodding, Lin Feng walked toward Ning Luo in great strides and helped him up with a concerned expression. Senior brother Ning Luo, are you all right? Ning Luo's lips curled up as he looked at Lin Feng. It's fine. Elder Lin, what is the meaning of this? Why did you attack junior sister Yi? Qin Huan looked at Elder Lin in confusion. Not mentioning Qin Huan, other inner sect disciples and even Zhu Chang'e could not understand Elder Lin's intention. Yi Qingtang, how bold of you! How dare you want to kill my disciple? Elder Lin bellowed at Yi Qingtang. Yi Qingtang scoffed coldly at Elder Lin's words. How do I explain this? Ning Luo is a spy in the sect. If I don't kill him, do I not do anything and let him kill me? Fallacious argument. Elder Lin waved his sleeve and interrupted Yi Qingtang. The sect will judge whether Ning Luo is the sect spy, and it's not yet your turn to execute the sect rites. You have committed a serious offense, yet you still don't know that you're in the wrong. Without giving Yi Qingtang a chance to speak, Elder Lin looked at the Xianling sect disciples and ordered. This girl is audacious. Capture her. The other Xianling sect disciples looked at each other. Chapter 487 Elder Lin, 2, was Elder Lin joking? Even Ning Luo, who was at Martial Qi level 3, was not Yi Qingtang's opponent, yet Elder Lin told them to capture Yi Qingtang. Did he not understand the situation? Not mentioning the fact that they were not Yi Qingtang's opponent, they would not listen to Elder Lin and attack Yi Qingtang even if they could defeat Yi Qingtang. They knew what was right and wrong. Ning Luo was clearly a Xianling sect spy, and if Yi Qingtang had not appeared, they would have been met with a disaster. How could they fight Yi Qingtang now just because of Elder Lin's orders? Elder Lin, I'm afraid we cannot obey your orders, a Xianling sect disciple said grimly. Master. I cannot obey your orders as well, Zhu Chang'e said. Elder Lin had a look of surprise when he saw that these Xianling sect disciples actually refused his orders. Elder Lin, Ning Luo is clearly the spy and even attacked us just now. As the sect elder, not only did you not do anything, you even wanted us to attack junior sister Yi. Could you be a sect spy as well? Qin Huan stared at Elder Lin and questioned. Junior brother Qin Huan, do not talk nonsense. Zhu Chang'e said with a frown. Elder Lin had a changed expression after hearing Qin Huan. As a sect disciple, you have no respect for your elders. You should be punished. Then, Elder Lin waved his right arm, and a powerful breath pierced the air and charged towards Qin Huan. Qin Huan's expression changed drastically after feeling this frightening energy. Never had he expected that Elder Lin would actually attack him. Whiz! A shadow flashed and blocked in front of Qin Huan. Yi Qingtang readily dissipated that energy. Elder Lin, could it be that you're afraid of being exposed and want to silence him? Yi Qingtang asked smilingly. Ha! Little girl. I really underestimated you back then. Elder Lin sneered. Indeed, I want to protect Ning Luo today. However, I am not the sect spy. Afterward, Elder Lin looked at Ning Luo beside him and said, Ning Luo, I know that you're a Yunshao sect disciple, but you and I have a strong relationship. No matter what, I will ensure your safety today. Xianling sect does not have any room for you, so I will leave together with you. What do you think? It would naturally be the best if Master is so principled. Ning Luo smiled and continued on. Master should be aware that Xianling sect now knows of something they should not and would definitely meet with a calamity. No one will be spared. You just said that we have a strong relationship. I will find a way to protect your life since you helped me today. Ning Luo, it is not just my life. Your junior brother Lin Feng's life. Elder Lin looked at his grandson, Lin Feng. Ning Luo's eyes were cold, though he had an indescribable smile on his face. Rest assured, Master. Junior brother Lin Feng and are very close as well. Chapter 488 Elder Lin, 3. Ning Luo's actions were equivalent to admitting that he was the Yunshao sect disciple hidden in Xianling sect. However, Ning Luo was Elder Lin's favorite disciple as well. As long as he could save Ning Luo today, perhaps Ning Luo would request the Yunshao sect to let Elder Lin and Lin Feng off on account of their master and disciple relations. Elder Lin, do you think that you will able to live after saving Ning Luo today? Obviously, Yi Qingtang saw through all of Elder Lin's calculations. Humph. You don't need to worry about this. Elder Lin scoffed. Yi Qingtang, you truly shocked me. You understood the Paragon skill as a red spirit root and advanced to the third heaven of martial Qi level 2 in such a short span of time. It is a pity that you have depleted almost all your primordial Qi after the battle with Ning Luo earlier on. One don't need any effort to kill you now. Elder Lin had been hiding for a long time and witnessed the entire battle between Yi Qingtang and Ning Luo. Thus, he was certain that Yi Qingtang's primordial Qi was already exhausted, and she was not his opponent. Qin Huan, Zhu Chang'e, and the rest were utterly taken aback. Previously, they were unaware of the identity of Ning Luo and Fu Lingtian until they found out from Elder Lin that they were actually from Yunshao's sect. Yi Qingtang frowned deeply at that moment. Wuxia world. Cite as what Elder Lin said, she had used too much primordial Qi because of the ultimate origin skill just now. Talking so much crap with Elder Lin was merely her using it as an opportunity to recover her primordial Qi. Yi Qingtang, how would I give you a chance to turn your fate around? Then, Elder Lin hollered in fury and rammed a palm towards Yi Qingtang. Noticing the situation, the Xianling sect disciples were shocked. They originally wanted to stop it, but Elder Lin was too fast, and they could not react in time. Careful, junior sister Yi. Zhu Chang'e shouted. Without Zhu Chang'e's reminder, Yi Qingtang had already dodged to a few meters away. Clank. A long knife appeared in Elder Lin's hand. Elder Lin chased after Yi Qingtang swiftly as he brandished the knife. The knife aura swept across the surrounding imposingly. Since Yi Qingtang did not have sufficient primordial Qi in her body, she did not dare to counterattack with full force and could only fight as she retreated. Unconsciously, the demonic blood sword had already blocked over 10 moves from Elder Lin, and Yi Qingtang was in the disadvantage afterward. Yi Qingtang, you must die today. Elder Lin sneered. I heard Ning Luo say that the Holy Lady of Yunshao's sect, Yi Yu, seems to have some enmity with you. You should feel honored that I'm using your head to exchange for the lives of Lin Feng and mine. Old ignorant fellow. A glint shone in Yi Qingtang's eyes, and the demonic blood sword was slashed down instantly. Clang! As the knife and sword clashed, sparks were ignited, and a formless blast of air cracked the ground as though it was a physical object. After 100 moves, Yi Qingtang's primordial Qi was almost completely depleted while Elder Lin's courage mounted as the battle progressed. If Yi Qingtang had enough primordial Qi, killing Elder Lin was extremely easy. Yet, helplessly. Ha! Yi Qingtang, even if you are a genius, you still have to die in my hands today. Elder Lin grasped the best time and used the knife aura to shake Yi Qingtang. Yi Qingtang remained silent as she recovered her primordial Qi rapidly. Death is already near at hand, but you still wish to recover your primordial Qi and fight with me again. Elder Lin walked towards Yi Qingtang in big strides as the long knife in his hand clattered. No! Noticing the situation, Zhu Chang'e wanted to rush forward. Senior brother Zhu, it's best to not act rashly. Lin Feng blocked in front of Zhu Chang'e. Scram! Zhu Chang'e pushed Lin Feng to the ground in an instant. TLL kill you. Qin Huan dashed forward and kicked Lin Feng's face. Chapter 489 Elder Lin, 4, Master. No. You have already betrayed the sect and no longer are my master. Then, Zhu Chang'e flew to the front of Yi Qingtang and glared at Elder Lin as he said in anger. On account that you have taught me, I persuade you to turn round. What lays ahead is a sea of misery without any shore. If you still don't stop now, you will be beyond redemption. As he spoke, the other Xianling sect disciples rushed forward at the same time and protected Yi Qingtang behind them. Impudent! Elder Lin bellowed coldly. In an instant, the disciples were sent flying from his endless martial aura. Given the skills of Zhu Chang'e and these inner sect disciples, it was impossible for them to block a sect elder. Although they wanted to protect Yi Qingtang's, the gap between their skills and Elder Lin's was too wide. There was no battle to begin with. Yi Qingtang, I want to see who can save you today. Elder Lin looked at Yi Qingtang with an icy laugh as though he had already beheaded Yi Qingtang. Swoosh! As he finished his sentence, his long knife was slashed towards Yi Qingtang once again. However, as the knife was halfway in its motion, an unknowing evil force emerged in Elder Lin's body. Yes. Wuxia World. Sight instinctively, Elder Lin stopped in his tracks and looked down at his chest. Boom! Almost at the same time Elder Lin looked down, a horrifying explosive sound reverberated in the air of the scene. A cloud of dust was spinning in the wind, and the entire view was covered by the dust. Yi Qingtang looked at the cloud of dust ahead with a strange expression. Expressions of confusion were etched on her face. Why did that Elder Lin suddenly explode out of nowhere? Yi Qingtang walked forward slowly and picked up a broken shard on the ground. This is, Yi Qingtang inspected the shard of glass in her hand, and there was an expression of surprise in her eyes. Revolving Soul Orb. The broken shard in her hands seemed extremely familiar to her eyes, and she quickly recalled that it seemed to be the revolving soul orb that she handed to Elder Qin. That's strange. I clearly handed the revolving soul orb to Elder Qin back then. Why did it appear in Elder Lin's hands today and even produce a spirit energy explosion? Yi Qingtang tilted her head, unable to comprehend. The revolving soul orb was extremely rare on this mainland. Apart from the one that she handed to Elder Qin, there should not be another one in Xianling's sect. Moreover, according to Yi Qingtang's understanding, Elder Qin and Elder Lin had always been on bad terms, and Elder Qin would definitely not gift the revolving soul orb to Elder Lin. Yi Qingtang was in deep thought for a moment and thought that there was only one possibility. Perhaps Elder Lin stole the revolving soul orb when Elder Qin was unprepared, but Yi Qingtang still could not think of the reason for its explosion at the moment. What a great Blood Moon sect elder. When you gave me the revolving soul orb back then, you probably already have calculated that it would explode. Yi Qingtang sneered. However, Elder Lin suffered the result of that little slyness that the Blood Moon sect elder pulled in her place. The dust faded away very quickly, and Elder Lin's figure appeared once again from it. However, Elder Lin was covered in blood while his hair was charred and disheveled. His abdomen area, especially, was badly mangled, and his left arm was entirely shattered from the explosion. At that instant, Elder Lin panted heavily, and his body trembled violently. Disbelief filled his eyes. He could not understand what exactly caused the revolving soul orb that he stole from Elder Qin to explode and severely injure him. From afar, Qin Huan, Zhu Chang'e, and the rest were dumbfounded as they looked at Elder Lin. Elder Lin, self-destructed. Qin Huan was astonished. Chapter 490 Elder Lin 5, Self-Destructed. Another Xianling sect disciple's complexion was nowhere better than Qin Huan's. Grandfather. Aghast filled Lin Feng, and he wanted to rush to Elder Lin. I'll kill you. Qin Huan heavily punched Lin Feng on the face. Before this, Qin Huan obtained something good when he was out on a mission in a mountain, and, thus, his skills escalated, and he was promoted as an inner sect disciple as an exception. The current Lin Feng was no longer Qin Huan's opponent and had no power to retaliate. Once again, Lin Feng collapsed on the ground from Qin Huan's punch and was unable to stand up. Looking at Elder Lin's miserable appearance, Ning Luo had an undetectable scoff in his eyes. At that instant, Elder Lin was like someone who was about to die. He spat out large mouthfuls of blood and was heavily injured and extremely frail. With the demonic blood sword in hand, Yi Qingtang walked towards Elder Lin slowly, and her lips curled. Elder Lin, I wonder if you still want to use my life in exchange for the safety of Lin Feng and yourself, Wuxia World. Sight color drained from Elder Lin's face as he saw the murderous intent in Yi Qingtang's eyes. He was severely injured by the revolving soul orb and no longer had any combat power left. Even if Yi Qingtang did not have sufficient primordial qi, it was extremely easy to kill him. Yi Qingtang. 1 A Xianling sect elder. You, Elder Lin dragged his damaged body and stumbled backward. Ha, Yi Qingtang sneered. But I remember that you have already betrayed Xianling's sect. I'm afraid it is inappropriate to call yourself a sect elder now. In reality, Yi Qingtang already had the resolve to kill him regardless of whether he betrayed the sect. In her previous life, after the secret of her heart of the demon god was revealed, Elder Lin tried to assassinate her once. Had Yunshu not rushed there in time and used his life to protect her, she would have died in his hands. Unable to succeed, Elder Lin subsequently spread the secret of Yi Qingtang's heart of the demon god and caused her to be chased after for her life for over 300 years by numerous forces who wished to obtain the heart of the demon god. How could Yi Qingtang forget this blood feud? Yi Qingtang was also a reasonable person. Since it was a debt her the previous life, she would seek revenge in this one. Yi Qingtang. What do you want to do? Fear ultimately appeared on Elder Lin's face as he saw the intensification of the murderous expression in Yi Qingtang's eyes. Swoosh. Like a fiendish demon from the abyss, Yi Qingtang slashed her demonic blood sword across, which was her most direct response. Puff! The demonic blood sword pierced through Elder Lin's chest instantly. Elder Lin turned pale and let out a miserable scream. Does it hurt? There was a sinister smile on Yi Qingtang's face as she twisted the demonic blood sword gently. Ah! Elder Lin screamed like that of a slaughtered pig. In the next second, Yi Qingtang withdrew the demonic blood sword and chopped off Elder Lin's head. Not far away, Zhu Chang'e turned around, unwilling and unable to bear the tragic sight. After all, Elder Lin was once his master. Grandfather. Lin Feng shouted from the top of his lungs as he glared at Yi Qingtang, wanting to tear her into pieces. What are you looking at? Qin Huan's fist rammed on Lin Feng's face like raindrops. With a few punches and kicks, Lin Feng passed out. After killing Elder Lin, Yi Qingtang walked towards Ning Luo with great strides. No matter what, Ning Luo must not be allowed to leave this place alive today. At that moment, Ning Luo looked at Yi Qingtang and chuckled. Junior sister Yi, you're indeed amazing. Even Elder Lin died in your hands. Chapter 491 Yunshao Sect Disciples 1. There's no hurry. You're next, Yi Qingtang said. Ning Luo shook his head. Junior sister Yi, don't speak too confidently. You want to kill me but have missed the best opportunity to do so. As Ning Luo finished his sentence, two figures descended from the sky. The incomers were a male and female who were both donned in long white robes with embroidery of two unusual clouds on the chest area. Yunshao Sect Disciples? Zhu Chang'e was astonished. The pair of people before him were both Yunshao Sect's inner sect disciples, who possessed unfathomable martial skills. Humph. You're really useless, Ning Luo. As Yunshao Sect's inner sect disciple, you're cornered to such a situation by Xianling sect disciples, the male in the lead said coldly and cast Ning Luo a look from the corner of his eye. Ha! Senior brother Zhua is right. I am all to blame for being useless and having to trouble you and senior sister Yu to help me. Ning Luo chuckled. The girl who was addressed as senior sister Yu looked at Ning Luo indifferently without saying anything. Whatever. Since we are here, let's kill all these Xianling sect disciples, and we will bring you back to the sect afterward. Senior brother Zhuo looked across Yi Qingtang and the rest. Then, the change of events had already exceeded Yi Qingtang's predictions. The primordial GI in her body was already insufficient, and it was almost completely depleted after the battle with Elder Lin earlier on. Elder Lin just died, yet then came 2 Yunshao sect's inner sect disciples. Leave first. Yi Qingtang looked at Zhu Chang'e, Qin Huan, and the rest. No. Qin Huan refused at once. Junior sister Yi, how can we abandon you and leave? Zhu Chang'e echoed. You all leave first. I have ways to deal with this. If you all are here, it is a burden to me instead, Yi Qingtang said seriously. This, after hearing Yi Qingtang, the Xianling sect disciples were at a loss instantly. They initially wanted to stick together through life and death with Yi Qingtang, but she said that they would be a burden to her. Forget it. Since junior sister Yi said this, she must have a way of getting out of this predicament. We will leave first and search for reinforcements. Zhu Chang'e said. Junior sister Yi, you must be careful. Qin Huan reminded. Under Yi Qingtang's protection, the few people evacuated swiftly. Want to leave right before our eyes? Senior sister Yu sneered. She was about to chase after them but was deliberately held back by Ning Luo. Ning Luo, what are you doing? Senior sister Yu shouted furiously. Senior sister, they're merely little clowns only. We do not need to waste any time here. The more pressing matter at hand is to return as soon as possible and notify the sect of this. Ning Luo explained. After pondering for a while, senior sister Yu finally nodded and said, all right. Since that's the case, I'll kill this dog that's standing in our way first. The dog standing in our way, which senior sister Yu said, naturally referred to Yi Qingtang. Senior sister Yu, the primordial qi in her body is already depleted. There's no need to bother about this disabled person. The better option is to leave now, Ning Luo said with a smile. After hearing Ning Luo, senior sister Yu's cold eyes landed on Ning Luo as she said coldly, Ning Luo, what are you planning exactly? You clearly know that this is the person whom senior sister Yu wants dead, but from what you said, you seem to wish to let her off. Wuxia World. Sight Ha. Junior brother Ning Luo. Actually, you already knew from the start that you and I were here. Could it be that the battle with Yi Qingtang was intentionally put up as a show for us? Senior brother Zhua asked meaningfully. That's why I found it strange. Your paragon skill of the frost is already at the 2nd level, but I saw that you did not use all your force. Ning Luo, what are you planning exactly? Senior sister Yu stared at Ning Luo. Chapter 492 Yunshao Sect Disciple, 2, Ha. Ning Luo showed an evil smile and said, Senior brother Zhua, senior sister Yu, you worried too much. Senior sister Yi, you asked me to finish Yi Qingtang, but you wanted to step in. It should not work this way. Furthermore, Yi Qingtang caused me great injuries. I would definitely not let her go so easily. I will be the one to end her life. After hearing Ning Luo's explanation, senior sister Yu's eyes were full of suspicion. Senior brother Zhua gave an ambiguous smile. Junior brother Ning Luo, based on your 2nd level of paragon skill, you did not use your full strength just now. It was obvious to me. Is it that you are obsessed with Yi Qingtang's appearance and fell in love with her? I shall warn you first. Junior sister Yi, you wants her dead. You should keep your little thoughts in case you provoke junior sister Yi Yu. No one will be able to save you then. Senior brother Zhua, don't bother to talk to him. Ning Luo's beloved one had passed away 3 years ago. He will never be interested in another person. I don't care what he was thinking, but now, we should chop off the woman's head and bring it back to Yu. Then, it would be mission complete, senior sister Yu said. Okay. Senior brother Zhua nodded. The two people's aura of martial qi level 3 exploded in the surroundings. Enchanting was engulfed by the wind and the waves created instantly. Enchanting could only defend herself using her primordial qi. These two people's abilities are even higher than Ning Luo. Even if my primordial qi is sufficient, I may only be able to come to a draw with one of them, Enchanting frowned. Enchanting rolled her eyes and looked towards her space ring. A talisman appeared in her hand at the next second. The talismans were the treasures that the Yunshao sect master gave to Yu Tiancheng. They sealed powerful array formations and divine skills. With the talisman in her hand, Enchanting was confident that even if she could not fight off the two people, she could still run away. Such a pity. I wish I can keep all these precious talismans. One will be gone now. Enchanting stared at the talisman and felt heartbroken. When Enchanting was about to use the talisman, Ning Luo suddenly said, Senior brother Zhua, senior sister Yu, there's a Xianling sect elder approaching. I think it's best to handle him first. Wuxia world. Sight laughter filled his eyes. The two people then looked up and saw an elder walked over slowly. There was an elder about 80 years old taking slow steps over. He said, young people should care for each other and be peaceful. Don't always try to fight and kill each other. Venerable Wu. Enchanting sized up the elder and realized that he was the Venerable Wu from the Sword Spirit Workshop. As an elder who always stayed at the Sword Spirit Workshop for weapon refining, why would he come here? Enchanting felt a headache. Even she herself also decided to escape. Now there was one more person to take care of. Another one comes here for death. Senior sister Yu snorted. Old man, look at your age. You're committing suicide here. Senior brother Zhuo laughed at the elder. Venerable Wu walked beside Enchanting and smiled. Young people nowadays always need old men to take care of. Enchanting stared at him blankly. I did not ask you to look after me, okay? It is much easier for me to escape along, old man. I don't want to have your blood on my hand since you are so old. If you understand the situation, leave now. The smile on senior brother Zhuo's face still remained. Where are your manners, son? Did your parents did not teach you basic manners? Venerable Wu sighed. Chapter 493 Yunshao Sect Disciple, 3, Old Bastard. What did you say? Senior sister Yu's eyes suddenly became fierce and malicious. Nothing. Do me a favor, okay? Don't find troubles for Xianling sect disciples. Just leave. The elder waved his hand. A favor. Look at how old you are now. Besides an old body, what else do you have? Senior brother Zhuo laughed. Don't bother talking to him anymore. Kill him together. Senior sister Yu flew over, and her martial qi level 3 aura was getting more intense. Enchanting immediately got up and stood in front of Venerable Wu to protect him. The martial breath on Venerable Wu was very weak. He was just one of the members at the Sword Spirit Workshop. How could he defend the attack from a Yunshao sect disciple? Young people, how dare you to bully an old man? I'm already half-step into the grave now. Venerable Wu made a detour to cross Enchanting and walked towards senior sister Yu. Old bastard, this will be your death. Senior sister Yu shouted angrily. Her palm slapped downwards and a huge cyan palm shadow came from the void, smashing downwards. The huge cyan palm contained unimaginable power, and it seemed that it could suppress the earth. The ground under the Venerable Wu's feet was crushed into pieces by the power. However, the Venerable Wu stood calmly and lifted his right arm slightly. The pressing martial breath seemed to evolve into an ancient demonic beast. Boom! After a loud explosion, the huge cyan palm was crushed and disappeared. What? Senior Sister Yu looked at the Venerable Wu in shock. Young people, you are too impulsive. Do you not know how to respect old people? Such a disappointment. The Venerable Wu shook his head. He lifted his arm again, and a strong attractive force pulled Senior Sister Yu forward. The Venerable Wu clutched her neck and sighed. Such a pretty face. Why are you willing to be a thief? Old bastard, how dare you humiliate my junior sister? Senior Brother Zhua shouted and took out a yellow great sword, piercing towards the Venerable Wu. The force was immense. It was like a wild beast that could destroy everything. Two young people bullying an old man together. Do you not know what humiliation is? The Venerable Wu extended his fingers. Clank. The yellow great sword was held by Venerable Wu's 2 fingers. How is this possible? Senior Brother was totally shocked. No matter how much strength he used, he could not withdraw his weapon. The Venerable Wu did not leave any reaction time for Senior Brother Zhua. His finger pointed at his chest area. Boom! Senior Brother Zhua's body was like a piece of paper in the gust of wind, flying outward. Senior Brother Zhua felt his inner breath, and blood was flowing everywhere inside his body. His face was red, and blood ran over from his mouth. Enchantment Eyes. Read its latest chapters at Wuxia World. Chapter 494 Yunshao Sect Disciples. 4. The 3 of them jumped into the clouds and disappeared. 3 children. You just left like that. Such a disappointment. It's so rare for me to be involved in a fight. What a waste of my energy. The Venerable Wu sighed. Enchanting looked at the Venerable Wu in astonishment. The Venerable Wu's cultivation level was so high that he could easily handle the combined attack from the 2 inner sect disciples of the Yunshao sect. Wuxia World. Sight before Enchanting could ask anything, a few shadows appeared. The inner sect elders including Elder Mo had arrived. Elder Qin and the Fist faction elder arrived soon after them. Among these people, there was a middle-aged man in a black robe. His martial aura was too very intense. Xianling Sect Master. Li Yunfeng. Enchanting murmured thoughtfully as she stared at the man. Enchanting saw the Xianling Sect Master in her previous life as well. That was why she could recognize him instantly. Greetings, elders and sect master. Enchanting greeted them with hands folded. Elder Mo nodded slightly. The sect master and Elder Mo walked towards the Venerable Wu. They folded their hands and said respectfully, Grand Elder. The Venerable Wu waved his hand and replied calmly. Ning Luo was saved by 2 of the Yunshao sect disciples. Return to the sect now and disperse all the disciples. The sect elders immediately disappeared without a single word after the Venerable Wu finished his words. Grand Elder, Enchanting stared at the Venerable Wu in front of her. Her eyes were filled with astonishment. The kind elder that she knew for quite a while at the Sword Spirit Workshop was the Grand Elder of the Xianling sect. Qintang, are you injured? The Venerable Wu walked forward and sized her up. Grand Elder. After knowing the Venerable Wu's true identity, Enchanting immediately greeted him with her hands folded. Young girl, I'm not used to it when you are so serious. Just addressing me as the Venerable Wu will do. The Venerable Wu smiled and waved his hand. Yes. Grand Elder, Enchanting nodded. Isn't it Venerable Wu? The Venerable Wu smiled. Venerable Wu, Yi Qingtang had to change her words. Qingtang, Xianling sect has reached the point of death or survival. You should pack up soon and leave, the Venerable Wu said after a period-long silence. Yi Qingtang knew what he meant when he finished his sentence. The Grand Elder knew that the Yunshao sect would not let the Xianling sect go this time. In order to save the disciples, he intended to disperse all of them. We shall return to the sect first. A kind smile was still seen on the Venerable Wu's face. Soon, the two of them flew into the clouds and rushed back to the Xianling sect. Yi Qingtang and the Grand Elder reached the Xianling sect after half a day. A few thousand disciples were gathered at the inner sect square. Even the outer sect disciples were present. Junior Sister Yi, you're finally back. Zhu Changge and Qin Huan surrounded Yi Qingtang when she appeared. Yes, there's nothing to worry about, Yi Qingtang said. Qingtang, it's been a long time since we last met. Yun Shu and Lin Long also appeared. Usually, it's rare to see the inner sect elders. Today, all of them finished their seclusion and even asked the outer sect disciples to gather at the inner sect square. I'm not sure what's going on, Yun Shu said. Lin Long frowned as there was an ominous feeling arising in her heart. Chapter 495 Live or Die Together. Yi Qingtang held her fist but did not say anything. She still could not change the things that were about to happen. Things that happened in her previous life could not be prevented in this life. The Xianling sect would soon disappear from history. She was unwilling to accept the truth. In her previous life, Elder Mo, Elder Qin, the Grand Elder, and most of the sect disciples were murdered within the sect. Yi Qingtang held her fist tightly. It was not enough. Still not enough. She was not powerful enough to change anything. If she was powerful enough, she could end the entire Yunshao sect instantly. Then, she would rewrite history. Only the weak would follow destiny. After a long while, Yi Qingtang's eyes were getting firmer. She would never bow in front of destiny and surrender to it. Even if the sky were to be reversed and time flowed backward, she would fight against it. Elder Huang of the outer sect suddenly announced. Tonight, we are not separated by the inner and outer sect. We shall celebrate the gathering. Many disciples cheered after hearing that. At midnight, the inner square was ablaze with lights. A few thousand disciples gathered in small groups. Some were drinking delightfully. Some were waving their swords. Many disciples were exchanging their skills and experiences. Some of the outer sect disciples gained the courage to ask for advice from inner sect disciples after a few rounds of drinks. The inner sect disciples were also willing to share their experiences and pointed out the inadequacies they had. Yi Qingtang recalled the days she spent at the Falling Sky Valley as she saw the harmony among the Xianling sect disciples. Though there were conflicts, the bond between the disciples was always present. Things that are about to happen will happen eventually. This is the last moment before the storm comes. Yi Qingtang closed her eyes and enjoyed the peace. The next morning at the inner sect square, the few inner sect elders including Elder Mo and the sect master Li Yunfeng showed up. Yesterday, all the disciples gathered at the inner sect. Many inner sect disciples suspected that there were ominous things that were about to happen. All disciples, sect master Li Yunfeng said as he scanned through the crowd. The sect has decided to disperse the inner and the outer sect. All disciples were shocked as they could not believe what they just heard. Both the inner and outer sect disciples thought that they heard it wrong. The Xianling sect was going to disperse the inner and the outer sect. Loud discussions arose at the square. Sect master, may I know why is it so? Why does the Xianling sect want to disperse the inner and outer sect? Some of the senior inner sect disciples asked. Li Yunfeng was silent for a while and then sighed. There is an unavoidable calamity that is going to happen to the Xianling sect. It may mark the end of our sect. To prevent unnecessary sacrifices, we need to disperse you. What? Xianling sect's calamity. Many inner sect disciples were stunned. The few inner sect elders also did not hold back and explained the truth. Since they had decided to disperse the inner and outer sect disciples, they had to explain everything clearly. The whole square was silent. After a long time, one of the inner sect disciples shouted, "I joined the Xianling sect when I was 12. It has been 5 years now. Xianling sect is my home, and all the disciples here are my family. Now that my home is in danger, how can I just run away for my own safety? Senior brother Tao Ran is right. We are the Xianling sect disciples, and Xianling sect is our home. We will never leave the sect behind when our sect is going to face attacks from the enemies. If we run away, we will never find a place to stand in this world. I will either live or die with the sect. I will not step back no matter who our enemy is." Ji Muyuan stepped forward and said. "I will either live or die with the sect. I will not be afraid of any enemies ahead." Zhu Chang'e stepped forward. "I will either live or die with the sect. I will never run away for my own safety when the enemies come." Feng Moli stepped forward. "Tam just an ordinary man, but I will never run away. I will fight till the last second for the sect." More disciples stepped forward and pledged their loyalty. "We live as the Xianling sect disciples. We die as the Xianling sect ghosts. As the Xianling sect disciples, we welcome our friends with sincerity, and we kill our enemies with our blood." Chapter 496 The Blood Moon 1. A few thousand inner sect disciples were touched by the scene. Only a few disciples chose to leave. Sect Master Li Yunfeng wanted to disperse these disciples to ensure their safety. However, no matter how he chased them away, they chose to remain in the sect. Eventually, he had to compromise. The loyalty that the outer sect disciples had towards the sect was much weaker. More than half of the outer sect disciples fled from the Xianling sect without any hesitation, including Lu Xiuan and Su Wan. "To everyone who remains, it's my Xianling sect's honor to have you guys here." Elder Mo stepped forward and scanned through the crowd. "It's our honor to join the Xianling sect in our life. We are willing to use our blood to protect our sect. We'll either live or die with the sect." Enchanting was also touched by the thousands of disciples who remained. In her previous life, most of these disciples were killed during the fight against Yunshao's sect. They could not protect the sect, and neither could the sect protect them. Junior Sister Yi. Yunshu and Lin Long walked towards Enchanting. "You did not leave." Enchanting was surprised. Yunshu shook his head and said, "Since we joined the sect, we are the sect disciples. If we leave the sect when it's in danger, we will regret for the rest of our lives." All sorts of feelings filled up her mind as she stared at Yunshu. She would try all her best to protect the sect. Enchanting took a glimpse and noticed that the Blood Moon Elder was following a group of outer sect disciples, trying to leave the sect secretly. "Wuxia world." Sage Enchanting sneered and held the Blood Moon Elder's collar. He was about to rage but forced a smile after noticing it was Enchanting. "Where are you going?" Enchanting smiled and asked. I'm not a Xianling sect disciple, and Xianling sect is about to face its calamity soon. I will definitely not fight for the sect. Why you pull me back? If you leave now, I will reveal your true identity." Enchanting smiled. "You." The Blood Moon Elder was stunned and scanned the surroundings carefully. He was relieved after knowing there was no one around. Yi Qing Tang, if you want to die, then go ahead. Don't pull me along. The Xianling sect knew the secrets of the Yunshao sect, and they will soon kill everyone in the Xianling sect. Based on our abilities, it's suicide if we stay. How about we leave first? When you are stronger, we'll find the Yunshao sect for revenge. The Blood Moon Elder was trying to convince Yi Qing Tang. You can only follow me. Yi Qing Tang did not buy his words at all. I have to follow you even if you are committing suicide. The Blood Moon Elder frowned. Yes. Yi Qing Tang nodded. Yi Qing Tang, you. That's so unreasonable. Do you still want the bonded soul pill? Yi Qing Tang smiled. Bonded soul pill. You have it now. The Blood Moon Elder's eyes sparkled. He was longing for the bonded soul pill all the time. Yi Qing Tang held her chin and said, not yet, but I have collected a few ingredients. If you listen to me, you will have the bonded soul pill. Not yet. The Blood Moon Elder gritted his teeth. He really wanted to tear her apart now. If he listened to her and stayed in the Xianling sect, why would he need the bonded soul pill if he could not even guarantee his own life? Chapter 497 The Blood Moon, 2, Yi Qing Tang, I will not die along with you in the Xianling sect. Don't even think about it, the Blood Moon Elder sneered as he sized her up. However, he was totally shocked as he looked at her. His face was filled with astonishment. You, the Blood Moon Elder pointed at her, and his body shivered slightly. Yi Qing Tang planned to use some effort to convince him, but she was stunned when she saw his reaction. This is impossible, the Blood Moon Elder shook his head. He opened his eyes wide as he stared at her in disbelief. He saw clearly that there was a blood moon sparkling at her glabella just now. You have the Blood Moon Aura. Blood Moon Aura. Me? Yi Qing Tang frowned and pointed to herself. That's right. The Blood Moon Elder was very sure. The Blood Moon Aura that she had and the Blood Moon at her glabella represented a very high position in the registration system of the Blood Moon sect. Pow! Before the Blood Moon Elder could say anything else, Yi Qing Tang slapped his forehead and said, Are you joking with me? I'm joking with you. The Blood Moon Elder was speechless. As the Blood Moon sect elder, how could he sense wrongly when he was so sensitive towards the Blood Moon Aura? Follow me. The Blood Moon Elder turned and walked towards the back of the mountain. Yi Qing Tang did not know what he was playing but still decided to follow him. Read latest chapters at Wuxia World. Sight they reached a river at the back of the mountain soon. A streak of Blood Moon Aura flowed out of the Blood Moon Elder's finger and swiped through Yi Qing Tang's glabella. A blood moon appeared at the glabella immediately. You check for yourself, the Blood Moon Elder said. Yi Qing Tang lowered her head and looked into the river. She was shocked instantly and could not believe what she saw. There was really a blood moon at her glabella. Yi Qing Tang, how did you get the Blood Moon Aura, and where did this blood moon come from? The Blood Moon Elder asked hurriedly. The Blood Moon Elder was confused, and Yi Qing Tang was totally bewildered. The blood moon slowly disappeared. She was stained with the Blood Moon Aura out of nowhere and even had a blood moon. The Blood Moon Aura on you is different from the normal members. Even the Blood Moon is different from normal elders. Even the Blood Moon sect elders may not notice that if they do not pay attention to. Only the Blood Moon Aura can reveal the blood moon. The Blood Moon Elder murmured to himself. Based on the things written in the book of sect history, such situations would never happen unless it was the Blood Moon Lord from thousands of years ago who gave the blood moon using special methods. Such a blood moon could only be given by the Blood Moon Lord. Even the Blood Moon sect master did not have the qualifications to do so. People who were given the power of the Blood Moon by the Blood Moon Lord thousands of years ago were called the Blood Moon Guardians. Their positions were above the elders and just below the sect masters. The Blood Moon Elder would never believe that Enchanting was one of the Blood Moon Guardians. None of the sect masters had revived now, and the Lord had also disappeared for thousands of years, so the Blood Moon Elder suspected that the Blood Moon Aura and the Blood Moon that Enchanting had were forged by a special potion. Such a situation was seen before. Thousands of years ago, a few hundred of super sects combined their power to terminate the Blood Moon sect. Before that, these super sects had invented a certain potion that could forge the Blood Moon Aura. You're tuning into the LoveLore Library YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.